What's going on, y'all? What's going on, man? I know I'm doing this a little late tonight, but y'all probably sleep right now. But y'all catch it in the morning. I had to do this because shoot, I done put a good dent into the wide receivers. I'm almost done. I might got like a couple more, and I'm done. So it's a possibility that I might be presenting the wide receivers this weekend as well. We knocking them down though. Uh, I spent a good portion today knocking them wide receivers out. So I believe the only groups that we got left is the safeties, which will be next, and then we're gonna jump to the tight ends. We ain't gonna go too in depth on the tight ends, and then we're gonna try to knock out these quarterbacks real quick. And shoot, everything else is just excess. What you want, you know what I mean? You request what you want. If you feel like there was a position group that I didn't get too much in depth, and you want me to get deeper in, shoot, let them have it. But we working though, y'all. Trust and believe that. What you gotta say about them Texans now? I mean, you look good on paper, but that's on paper. A lot of teams look good on paper until it's time to get on that field. So let's see what you do. You still got a jail. Don't forget about that. You still got a jail. You better hope. You better hope Diggs don't punch your quarterback in his face. But yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about these running backs real quick. Look, it's looking like, and regarding these class, the top, it's like the middle and the bottom. It's like the majority of the time, the people who's at the top, that's the hypers around, they're really trash. It seems like for the majority of these position groups that the people that's hyped up are really trash, are really like the middle to the bottom of the barrel. And the people who don't talk about certain players enough, like this middle to the bottom, or the bottom of the barrel, who I guess what the masses would say is middle to the bottom of the barrel, they really at the cream of the crop in this class. And I'm talking about in multiple position groups. But let's get to it though. So Dylan Johnson, 6', 218, Washington. I'm gonna just let you know off the rip. This is my favorite running back in the class. This is my favorite one. That's why I watched him first. This is my favorite one. Uh, Now you'll see my top 5 rankings, but as far as who I would like to get, because the Cowboys is gonna need to get a running back. That's just off the rip. They're gonna have to get one. Because what's available, yeah. But Dylan Johnson, though, 6', 218, Washington, tough runner, good size, runs a little high at times. One cut and go runner, so north-south runner. Uh, he runs with some forward lean and doesn't go down on first contact, which is important because we're gonna talk about another soft-ass running back who was overrated to me, and I didn't like in certain instances that you know went down on first contact, and he's supposed to be a bruiser. But he's willing and pass pro. Uh, there was a time, man, where he had it was against Oregon, and he had to run out the clock, and he didn't go out of bounds. So that was a high IQ play because a lot of times running backs get selfish and either want to score or try to fight for something and get a turnover. Well, he showed a lot of awareness and got down, so that was key. So that tells me he ain't worried. He worried about the win and not these stats. He's good on the goal line, good short yardage back. He's average though when moving east and west, but that'll get the job done. But you want him one cut and go. Uh, he's tough and got heart. He was on one leg in the championship game, and I believe he got banged up during the season as well. Because when I did watch college football, I did look at some tape of him. That's why I'm very familiar with him, and I was rocking with him. He got some good. He got some good solid vision and good contact balance. Good straight line speed. He can be deceptive with some moves at times. But that's my little thing on Dylan Johnson. I like him. He's a good first and second down runner for you. you could call him a complete back because he does got good hands. He even caught the football out wide, so he got some good hands and he's willing to pass, bro. And he's a good short yardage back. This is something that that you will want in a running back. So if you're looking for a complete running back or a running back that can go ahead and head your complimentary committee or whatever, however you want to go ahead and label your running backs, Dillon Johnson is a good 1-2 punch for you. And Dillon Johnson is somebody that you want to start the game with and at least end the game with as well. If nothing else, at least end the game with. But all right, so Jonathan Brooks is the next one. 6 foot 207, Texas. He got good hands. He's not a physical runner to me. Now I heard he had an injury, so they saying that might have affected him a little bit this year. I mean, I don't know, because last year we was watching Bijan Robinson and we was watching Roschon Johnson. So I mean, I don't know too much about that, but he got good acceleration. He's more of a perimeter runner. No, he's not your in between the tackle runner. He's more of your perimeter runner. And I believe I seen, if I'm not mistaken, that he was on a top 30 visit with the Dallas Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken. But he got solid contact balance in the what the hell? Oh, against Alabama, there was times where I seen he didn't want no contact in pass pro, but he did it anyway. So he's kind of one of them dudes that's like, oh man, I gotta go hit somebody, but then he ends up doing it anyway for the team, man, because he got to do it. He does need to get stronger in his lower body. He makes people miss in the hole, which is good. I said he gentle between the tackles. He can make people miss in the open. A lot of the times, I definitely will be using him a lot on screens. And he got good, and he's a good athlete. To be honest with you, though, even though he's probably one of your little number 2 running backs, probably coming to the league, he's not my type of running back. Not saying that he a bum, but my type of running back, he's not my type of running back. And to be honest with you, say for instance, if your team needs a running back, man, that can set the tone and that can get nitty gritty and get these in between the tackle runs, Jonathan Brooks should be last. Well, not saying last, but he should be at the bottom of what you're looking for in that. But if you just need a running back in general, he get somebody to consider. But if you need somebody that's going to get tough yards inside, Jonathan Brooks is not going to get that for you. At least from what I've seen. But here we go. Braylon Allen, 6 foot, was it? What is he, 6'2", 245, Wisconsin. He got a disease called fumbleitis, where he's always fumbling the ball. Right? I didn't like that. Like, come on, man. Like, out of the games that I've seen, I at least 4 fumbles, man. That ain't cool. That ain't cool, not one bit. He don't run his size, even though at times he does breaks tackles. Now let me clarify this for y'all, right? They're gonna be like, what do you mean he breaks tackles? Yes, he does, right? But it's more of a, say for instance, if I got some toothpick in front of me, of course I'm gonna put some pads on the toothpick. Let's say for instance, if I got somebody like Myles Garrett, he ain't gonna run the way he's supposed to. And if you get what I mean with the comparison, he picks and chooses his battles. He don't run the way he's supposed to. And I'm gonna get in, and I'm gonna go ahead, and as long as I go, I'm gonna go ahead and give you an example too coming up. But he does break tackles and at times run with a forward lean, like a soft-ass Brandon Jacobs to me. Brandon Jacobs, I always call him Tiptoe Jacobs, right? Yeah, he'll truck some people, man, but at the end of the day, that boy be tiptoeing in the hole, man, tiptoeing in his Jordans, man. But all right, so look, I seen him get stopped in his tracks and get smacked in the goal line, and he went back, right? A running back like that on contact should always go forward. He went back. That was very concerning. I'm like, this man, like, that's soft. And on the goal line, I believe it was against Ohio State, against our boy, at least my boy, Tommy Eichenberg. Tommy Eichenberg got it in, I think it was on a 4th down, and stopped him, got off the block and stopped him. If you need any indication of what a real linebacker is supposed to do, and not that soft ass boy Peyton Willis, if you need any indication of what a linebacker is supposed to do in that situation, I would highly recommend you go look at the little cut-ups of the Ohio State game versus Wisconsin, preferably in the middle of that tape on the goal line, and you're going to see what a real linebacker is supposed to do, and you're going to see what not many linebackers that I've seen did. But let me get off the linebackers because we're talking about the running backs, man. But I had to put out there because I was feeling myself like Mac Dre. Let's go. But he is nimble on his feet. He a north-south runner. Has solid hands, right? He a straight line runner as far as if you're trying to get some speed. His vision ain't the best. The small sample of pass pro I've seen, he gave punishing blows. So that's one thing I did see. He was solid in pass protection. So that's always a plus. So him being solid in pass protection, for what I've seen, will probably go ahead and improve his draft stock probably about a round or two than what it's supposed to on some real, at least a round. But the way he gets I just put the way he got stopped on goal line situations disappoints me greatly. That's what I said. I put as I mentioned before, I said, does he pick and chooses his battles? And then I told y'all to look at the Ohio State game. I got ahead of myself because I remembered. But yeah, man, that's my thing on Braylon Allen. Trey Benson, 6'1", 223, from Florida State. I believe he used to go to Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, right? And you could tell he got that Oregon in him, and this is why. He got good speed for size. He outran some angles against Pittsburgh, and specifically, if you wanted to go back and look, he dances too much in the backfield at times. NFL will shut that down. He catches out the backfield. For a big back, he's better on a perimeter. And if you caught what I'm saying is, as a big back, I would expect for you to be a little bit better in the inside, right? But his best running, from what I've seen, came on a perimeter. I've seen many got him top 2, and we'll discuss that in a little bit. But I didn't see any pass pro for him, so I put that as a question mark in the film that I've seen. But he did run with some forward lean, though. If I need to give you a little bit more insight of his in between the tackles, he does fight for extra yards inside. I actually put at the end, I said I seen him in pass pro for one snap, and it was soft. So that'll go ahead and give you some, give you a little insight in regards to Trey Benson. But that's my analysis on him. Jalen Wright, 5'11", 210. He's willing to pass pro. Will throw his body, which I like. Good speed. Outran angles versus Georgia against that competition. He displays some good patience at times and always seems to find these creases. Pad level was good for my eyes. Seen him catch the rock, which is good. He's more of a zone scheme running back, but he will be a very good NFL running back, right? All right. Let's look at Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin, Oregon, 5'10", 195. He got good lateral quickness. He's very elusive, sneaky strong, and he runs hard. He's fast, catches the ball at the backfield. Good start quickness. Zone scheme runner, outside preferably. Good contact balance, fights for extra yards. He is money on them option routes out the backfield. He gets good yards after catch, both ways. So yards after the catch and yards after the contact. Displays good vision, good burst through the hole. But he is a committee running back, but he's a very energetic running back. I like Bucky Irvin. I didn't think I wasn't gonna like him because in my head I got this little pre-notion that like, oh, you Oregon running back. I kind of like, I want to, you know what I mean? I got this thing about Oregon running backs, but to my surprise, I watched him with an open mind, and I'm like, oh, I like Bucky Irvin. And I believe he also was in one of them Cowboy visits in the top 30s. I would take Bucky Irvin. Ray Davis, 5'10", 216. Kentucky. He cribbed a long one versus Florida. If you don't know what crib means, that means take it to the house, like Trick Daddy said. Good contact balance, runs hard, shows patience and solid hands, can catch downfield, good size, good enough in pass protection. He breaks tackles, solid vision, low center of gravity. I like him better north south, but he can go east and west. Uh, he can make you miss, and he ran against tough SEC defenses and had success. That's important, right? Because you know the SEC uh, competition, man. That's one of the best competitions that you can face in college. And if you having good success going against these Bamas, LSU's, and all them, then you know that seems to translate well for the most part. Blake Corum, 5'8", 213, Michigan champion, tough runner. He gets the dirty yards. He's short but not small at all. 5'8", 213. That's not small. That's just short. And he's probably shorter than that. You know these heights don't be exact. And I didn't get the combine height, so forgive me on that. So some might be off an inch. Most likely an inch or two, but so he probably about 5'7", 5'6.5", which is big. Uh, but he's not shifty. He's more of a one cut and go north south type of running back, inside zone, power scheme runner, inside zone power scheme runner. He got solid speed, not great speed, but solid speed, low center of gravity. He runs with some power, not much creativity, average at best vision. Lateral movement is basic. From the past pro snaps I've seen, he sticks his nose in there. He has solid hands, right? Blake Corum, he cool back though. I liked him more last year, but kind of paying attention to him more this year. I'm like, eh, you know what I mean? Uh, Marshawn Lloyd, 5'9", 210, USC. Uh, fumbled twice versus Utah. I'll put that with the question marks. What's up with that? Uh, ball security, right? What's up? He's not a burner, but he got good lateral quickness. He's more quicker than fast. Because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, he looks familiar. Like his game looked familiar. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, he got some LaShawn McCoy in him. He's elusive, shifty, especially for that size. He a running back that will create nice jump cut. Didn't see much of a physical runner when it comes down to him, but if he can create like he did in college, he could potentially be a playmaker at this next level. I'll just be honest with you, y'all, because he did some special things, and uh now I didn't get now in watching him, I didn't really see too much of the physicality that I could 5'9", 210, like that's not small. That's pretty good size, right? See, as my running backs, I don't need my running backs to be 6'3". I can roll with a 5'8", 5'9" running back. Emmitt Smith was 5'8", 5'9". What Terrell Davis was what 5'8", 5'9", right? You don't need to have no 6'1", 6'2" tall Mount Forte type of running back. So when you look at these heights of these running backs and they're shorter, don't worry about that. Look at the weight if you want to go ahead and figure out if these guys are small or not. But yeah, Marshawn Lloyd, I seen some good things though. I seen some things that I'm like, all right, I want to see more, but man, he got some shady in him. I ain't gonna lie. So if you guys think about Shady McCoy, he got some of that shady in him. Uh, I looked at Will Shipley. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't get too much of a scouting report of him. Uh, I ain't seen nothing spectacular. That's all I really put for him, to be honest with you. He's 5'11", 210 from Clemson, but I said I didn't really see too much for him. But my top five, y'all, was Jalen Wright, Ray Davis, Dylan Johnson, Bucky Irvin, and Marshawn Lloyd. Now, look, I'm gonna tell you something. Now, let me give you a little bit of explanation in regards to this. So, Jalen Wright, to me, seemed like I think he's probably one of the best that I've seen. Now, let me tell you something. Now, from this top five that I'm giving you, right, with Wright, Ray Davis, Dylan Johnson, Bucky Irvin, Marshawn Lloyd, it's not a gap like it was last year. Last year, we could distinguish like, okay, that's one. Okay, that's two. Okay, that's three. But this year kind of had me a little thinking a little bit. So the gap ain't too heavy. It's more of style of play, what your team needs, scheme fit for this year, right? And there's a few good backs, man, that your team or even your Cowboys can go ahead and roll with. Uh, and looking at some of these backs, man, this top five could roll with the Dallas, and particularly Jalen Wright, Ray Davis will be good Dallas Cowboys running backs. I'm gonna tell you, like, this is what Dallas need, though, right? Dallas need more of the Dylan Johnsons, the Jalen Wrights, and the Ray Davis when it comes down to if they're gonna look for a running back. It seemed like Tennessee out there putting out some good running backs, man. Especially Alvin Kamara and all them. It seems like they putting some decent running backs out there, man. Uh, but I think, but from what I seen, I think Jalen Wright and Ray Davis is probably in that top two. Um, and I was trying not to be biased though, because man, I'm like a lot of the times I think I'm like, shoot, is he better than Dylan Johnson? Because I really like Dylan Johnson. I'm telling y'all, I really like Dylan Johnson. I like his style, and I think that he'll fit well with a team that's looking for some impact in between them tackles, somebody that's gonna get upfield and really run that ball. But Bucky Irvin, he a good running back, and all depends what a team want to do. I wouldn't be mad if somebody got Bucky Irvin or Marshawn Lloyd, because there is some good backs. And I think I seen some a little bit of Rasheen Ali. I didn't watch him as far as scouting, but he looked cold in regards to stopping on a dime and cuttings. I'm like, oh, hold up. I was looking at a little bit of them senior ball. I'm like, hold up. You know what I mean? But so we'll probably come back and check him out, because I believe the Cowboys brought him in as well too. But I like Ray Davis though. Ray Davis seemed like a running back that you want to give about 15, 17 carries a game. Jalen Wright, he's somebody that you at least want to give 15 to 17 touches a game, not necessarily all running. All running, you could throw him the ball, let him do his thing. Dylan Johnson, he's somebody that you'll want to give about, a good 12 to 15 touches a game. Bucky Irvin, he's about in that same realm. You can kind of go ahead and give him a comparison as far as like impact that you could possibly get, but just a little bit better when it comes down to running physical is the Miami Dolphins running backs. Right. Marshawn Lloyd, like I said, I seen some Shady McCoy in him. So, take with that information as you must. Now, will all this translate? We're gonna see. But from what I'm seeing out of this five, it's probably they had the best chance for them to translate to the NFL. But anywho, man, that's my presentation tonight. I'm gonna be finishing these wide receivers, so I might end up presenting this weekend in regards to the wide receivers. So just know when I do finish the wide receivers, I'm jumping straight to the safeties, because I believe that's could potentially be something important too. If because look, you got to understand from a Cowboy point of view, Malik Hooker is not going to be here a long time, right? Uh, yeah, you got Wanye, but okay, what you gonna do with Wanye? You right? Is he gonna really be that one? Donovan Wilson, I can see him not finishing his contract just because of his inability to really cover at a high level. Curse, we know what's up. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more with Curse. Israel, that look like they wasn't big on Israel. Maybe the new defensive. We'll see what the new defensive coordinator like. But one thing for sure, right? One thing for sure, what's proven with the safeties is that Zimmer likes smart safeties, right? If you look at them safeties, you could look at Harrison Smith, who was at time where you could probably say that he was probably the best safety in the league at one point in time. You Andrew Sandejo, he come up there smacking some, you know what I mean? So and Donovan Wilson, he might put Donovan Wilson a little bit back more in that type of role. So if Israel ain't turning in to be a Harrison Smith, I don't know, man, because it's like because Israel was always that tweener. But now you got somebody with a different formula on how he gonna go about how he want a successful defense to be. So Israel, we gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta go ahead and keep out now. Malik Hooker is somebody that he could roll with though, but you probably only get maybe about 1 or 2 more years out of Malik. So you definitely got to look for the future on that. So Safety is not all the way out when it comes down to the Dallas Cowboys. There is no position that is all the way out. Trust me. When you look at BPA, right? When you look at the best, when you look at what's the needs and what's best available, you got to go best available, because you can't go for needs, because this team has needs for damn near every position. Probably the position that you can go ahead and look at that's not that you cannot stretch for is defensive end, right? Because defensive end you covered right now. So you ain't really tripping too much off a defensive end, but everything else is all fair and game, because you got a cornerback that's coming off an injury. You know what so how long is it gonna take for him? You got another cornerback who is better in the nickel, better inside. And then you getting all these other teams who is stacking up on weapons. So it's not all the way out the picture that you wouldn't want to go ahead and get another corner on the outside anyway. Because if you can get Bland to play the inside, man, that's cool. But shoot, there's some corners out there that if they're available, how could you pass up? How could you pass up on Rakestraw from Missouri? How could you pass up on Kool-Aid McKinstry? So we can look at it from that type of lens. But all right, y'all, I just wanted to go ahead and present these running backs. We probably gonna have some controversial um, evaluations in regards to this wide receiver core, like we did last year. But what we said last year, hey, I know I ain't got the all 22 film for everything and for all I wanted to see, but shoot, like we didn't have trouble and evaluating these prospects without that all 22. That's all I'm saying. Either you can play ball or you can't play ball. Either you got it or you don't. So that's gonna be some controversial takes, and I'm pretty sure my top five ain't nobody's top five. Probably the only one that I probably agree with me is probably a few GMs in the NFL. That's where we going. But anywho, y'all, I'm up out of here. Y'all go ahead and stay safe. To the next stream. We gone.